Welcome. Good to Kevin. We are doing the Corbomite Maneuver today, and it is, as I said, the third episode that they created, directed by Joseph Sargent. I have some comments on him, and written by Jerry Sohl. Yeah. This is November 10th, 1966 when it came out. So
November 20th. Now, but what kind of episode would you consider this to be? It's definitely it's not really a bottle episode, I wouldn't imagine.
Because all of it was inside the ship, except for the alien where they redressed the briefing room or whatever. And they spent, I think, they had budgeted $4,000 for special effects, but they spent, gobs more than that because it's a new show and problems. Yeah. But still under the 193,000, I think they budgeted for it. They spent 190 instead of 193, so they have 3,000 that they could shift to future episodes. That's the kind of thing in third season they did all the time, right? Bottle show, outside show, bottle show. What do you call it? What's the opposite of a bottle show?
Geez, that's a good question.
I don't know if there's a name for that.
Probably.
All right,
location episode, when they call it locations.
Yeah, let's call it that. Even if it says like on a planet set, or without going on location. On location, you kind of know you're going outside, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in the real world. But even a planet set is probably
set location then.
Yeah, set location. Yeah, I like it. The app site that you go to, when you compare apps and you want another, what to use if, right? There's a difference between bottle show and blank.
It looks like I'm gonna have to do a little reading to get to that. We can do that later. It's a bottle show, they call it, but
yeah, I think they consider that.
Joined by Leslie Stevens, the creator, executive producer of 1960s TV series The Outer Limits. So this person, particularly, according to the article I'm looking at on Wikipedia, which we all know is absolutely true on everything that they write.
Accurate. It's on the internet.
So you have quite a bit of notes on this one. It's nice. Very nice to read your notes.
Really? Did you had a chance to look it over? It's already 2 weeks old. I can't even remember. The first thing right off the bat that I see, though, the picture there is, look at that. Uhura wears a gold dress. She does that for another episode, I think the next episode. But eventually we get to have communication color red.
I think, who was your favorite character in this? Even Spock wasn't fleshed out in this one yet, though. He's funny. He's pretty funny.
Spock is good. Of course, the guest
Bailey.
Oh my God, I think he's 25 years old when he's doing this. The actor. And
how old was he?
25.
Oh, he's only 25. Oh, wow.
Yeah. To me, though, whenever I watch this episode, I go, when McCoy's harping on, you promoted him too fast, and who does he remind you of? You're like, when you were a kid and you're young, just starting out. And I'm thinking, this guy looks like he's old, and he's been in Starfleet training for a while, and he finally got out of school, and now he's got a ship, and it's like time has passed by. He always looks, I didn't realize he was so young. He
doesn't look that young to me. I think someone's fudging on his date of birth or something.
They're smoking back then, and they. Smoking back.
I think he wasn't that young. He definitely doesn't look 25. Look at a 25-year-old today, and he definitely doesn't look 25.
But he always running his lines, doing his shtick when he's going off the deep end. I mean, it's so good. What's wrong with you people? What movie? Close Encounters.
You really think he's 25 in this thing? I don't know.
Hey, let's go quick and do that. I guess that's one of our tasks that we should do before.
Anthony Call is his name.
Right, and he should be on.
Anthony Call. They said he was born in 1940, so you're about right. This was 66.
November 66.
Yeah.
Wow. True.
He just looked older for some.
And that's why I thought it was always difficult for me to buy into the Kirk is viewing him as a younger version of himself, and he's trying to, encourage and help, and he knows I didn't buy it because of the way he looked.
Right. Yeah. I mean, same here. I thought he was much older too. He looks to me, remember when you're in high school and there's always those guys that kind of hang around, like you're saying, they're older and they just never seem to graduate, and they're always great in football and basketball. They dominate in sports. It's just that they never can seem to graduate high school.
Yeah.
That's kind of what he reminds me of.
Okay. Now we get to another episode. You might remember, what do they do when they Starbase 11 and they when he's in court martial. Jeez. Finney. He was a teacher for too long, or he was held back then because of the baffle plate.
Oh, right.
He's way old, and and he's just starting out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went a little off the deep end because of that. Yeah.
It would have been nice if they've got someone that looked a lot younger on this one, because wasn't like in the Next Generation, what's his name? Wesley, young kid. He was in the mid-20s too, right? In that show. No, he was in you're right. He was in his teens. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was like, what they should have had is like Nolan, who looked younger, who was in Naked Time, right?
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Okay, well, no big deal. He did an excellent job.
He did a very
the old part was just me and the believability of Kirk and him, but the part he played, what are you, robots? Oh my God, it's so excellent, and he's doing a countdown.
Yeah.
Really,
I love that. Spock's really just wasting time. I like it.
Exactly.
Wasting time. Yeah.
What do they want us to do? They want us to lose.
They did give him, it was his episode almost, right? Wasn't it? It just really kind of pivoted around him for sure. Bailey.
Yes, but I think we can gather more, not just Bailey, love that part, about the interaction McCoy and Kirk, right? They have a chance to sit down and we learn about the yeoman and stop hovering around me and the little banter there. I only eat when the crew eats,
Yeah.
We're introduced to those two, so I think a lot of believable stuff in.
So you're thinking that this was like more of an introduction episode for
no, I don't. I see what you're saying, but I don't take it as that. I've seen them all, so it's just another good Star Trek episode.
So is this a character study story, or what do you think this is? What type of story is this, would you think?
Yeah, it's not like talk in a muck time. This is, what is this? We get to some of the basics of the story is aliens, what's our job here? To go out and seek out new life. And
but if you look at it, it's mainly a threat from the alien on the ship for almost the entire episode. Not until the end of the episode do we get to meet
that it was a test of sorts.
Yeah. It was the whole episode was a test, right?
Yeah.
Or
in fact, how do you feel about at the end when the ship, when not the Facerius, the big ship, the little ship is whatever, Balok's little shuttle, when it breaks down, Balok says, he mentions the distress signal. Now, didn't he say it was fake or something?
Yeah, it was all fake. Yeah, he faked it all.
His little ship did not even get damaged. That was all fake?
Yeah. Well, according to him, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when him and Bailey go scooting off into the galaxy together and Bailey keeps bumping his head, he has some serious problems on that ship. And he's... No, I'm just kidding. He covered him up. Yeah. No, the ship's fine. Yeah.
I know this like the back of my hand. So let's see. Stand by to photograph. Oh, yeah. It starts off really good, doesn't it? With an unusual... For this episode, I would have expected that they wouldn't have been as bold on this episode. But the director is like a real young guy, and he is so nervous all the time. So not just to this show, he throws up, he goes to the bathroom and he throws up. And later on, he says the throwing up kind of diminished in his life, but he always feels nervous and sick.
Really?
He went to, I forget the guy's name, one of the script writer, one of the people that works there, and says, I can't, you got to get someone else. Why? Are you sick? I can't do this. Because he feels the pressure of having to manage everything. The director of photography has to also do lighting, I believe, right? Cinematography, directors, I don't know what their titles
Well, you
are.
have lighting, but you have your cinematographer too. Yeah.
And he's like the overarching, he's got so much to do. And the guy really shot him down and said, you ever want to work in Hollywood again, you're going to be doing this thing.
Go do it.
But he had another person there on staff who encouraged him, yeah, you threw up in the van, but you can do this, blah, blah, blah. And I think he's the one to blame for making this look more movie-like with the lighting. And I always liked the way Star Trek bathed the background gray walls and the, what's it called, the cyclorama or whatever, I don't know if that's the right word, the fabric that goes around the stage set on the planet sets, and they would bathe them in different light, and all of a sudden, hey, it's a new planet because it's a red skyline. Or in the case behind Spock in a briefing room or something, it might be blue on this side and green on the other, or whatever. Yeah. I just watched Charlie X, I was watching. He's playing the harp, and it's a real cutoff right behind him. There's red and there's green. I always like the way they lit stuff, that they changed the wall. The walls look different because of the light, and it was just a neutral gray normally. Yeah. How'd I get on that? Oh, because I was talking about the crane shot, this thing at the beginning of this episode, and they come out. Spock is at his console, pushing the button, and the camera moves up and out and looks down at the navigation console. It is awesome. And then it comes back down in. And didn't I make a picture of that? Yeah. Take a look at that overhead crane shot, fourth picture down.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Right? And I think that actor right there is really standing. I don't think that's our guy. Because look at the shot below him and look at his hair. That's a different.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's the lighting, like you said. Maybe the lighting's falling, darkening it there. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. What do you think about the sound effect for the taking the pictures? The sound effect. I thought it was kind of a cool sound effect.
Oh, there was one, right? When they would do their measurement or whatever.
Take your photo now, or whatever Spock says.
3 days of this, sir.
Yeah. There's that cool sound effect, though. I like the way it. I like that sound effect. Whatever it was here.
Right. We talked about Uhura was a gold dress, right? Gold uniform, kind of.
Yep, you did.
Stands out.
So this is only one of 2 episodes where she's in a gold uniform.
I think it
turns red, right?
The next one, yeah, I think the next one, and I don't know how many. Maybe it's 3 or something, but it's normally red, so it kind of stands out. We'll talk about the gold uniform in a little later in this. So she's in gold, and then what? Oh yeah, the cube thing, the special effects. Really, you know how you get into something and it's just gets me out of the show,
right?
Because the cube, they're pretending that the ship is pulling to the side and trying to get around it or something, right?
Yeah.
And then the cube comes back like you're supposed to go, oh, okay, it's pulled it back in front or something. But the background stars, they're not moving. It just looks like the cube went sideways and get back.
Yeah.
And that's why I wrote down, they don't quite have the Star Wars moving, what do I say? Stars moving when maneuvering special effects. Because I mean, Star Wars, it is just, right? I mean, it's totally correct.
Right.
They're on the Millennium Falcon, they're shooting and things are moving. And when they move, the stars move the opposite way. It's obvious to us now, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure the cost would have been the cost. That's the thing. How cheap can you make this? Oh, we'll move it in front and move it back. But it just drives me nuts. I mean, what's the word? What's the word when when it's believable and you're in the moment or something and it knocks you out? There's a phrase for that. What is that? Why am I not thinking about that? Well, maybe it'll come.
Well, I don't know.
Okay. So what happened was She's in Europe doing performances. Her agent says, come on back. You got to interview for this audition, I guess is the word, right? Audition for, right. Nichelle Nichols has to audition for the show. She flies back. She goes in and is like, so why are you here, Mr. R? Oh, I might have had something to do with this. They had an affair before the show.
Right.
So I always thought it was during the show. Well, that may be true also. She's competing with 3 other people, and one of them had a semi-okay TV show life in the 60s, and the other 2 didn't work out. But I think that if I read this correctly, I wish I would have paid attention to it. I think the other 2 are actually in the episode as background people.
Oh, wow.
And one of them might be this one that I want to talk about now, the gold dress at 5 minutes and 40 seconds. The lady walks down the hallway, and I think Kirk walks down first or something. And then this guy who's staring at the floor pops out of the little alcove. You knew he was standing there just waiting for William Shatner to go by, but it looks like he should have been just walking out naturally. Here comes this lady, looks like Indian lady, Eastern, Indian. The gold dress, it's like it's not for her. It was like it was sized for someone else. Maybe even Uhura wasn't in on that day. They save a couple of bucks. She gets $1,000 an episode at this point, and I'm sure that's like, whoa. So they say, well, don't show up, and we'll use this lady. They threw that on her, and it's baggy as heck. I mean, it's just a baggy.
Not on Uhura.
Not on Uhura, on this other actress. Just walking down the hall, and also takes that's the phrase. It takes me out of the moment. I think that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, and then what else we have? Navigation console. All the time in the episodes. Take a look at my little stock shot. We should insert that. The one with Sulu on the left and the helmsman, right, and the navigator on the right there. Yeah. And the screen. That shot is used constantly throughout the series. Just throw that in there, right?
Yeah.
And since this was an early episode, I wonder if it comes from this scene right here.
Now, you got a picture. Yours is the remastered version, right? Because I think your picture is the same as what I was watching. Did you watch the remastered version of?
I did not. What were you watching remastered? No.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, sure you were. But you were watching. Were you watching HD, high def, not remastered 2004 version with a new sound and the closed captioning, but with the Blu-ray version scanned it, right? And old special.
I'm gonna have to check because honestly, the cubes look about the same to me. Yours is maybe a little bit faded, clear. Mine's not that clear either, though. They didn't really clean up that cube at all.
I thought that everything that happens outside of the ship in the new Blu-ray release was CGI. So wouldn't they have popped that into that screen?
It doesn't look. It looks almost exactly the same as the shot you took.
And you were watching new special effects? Didn't one time you watched this and you said, "Oh, I was watching the old special effects"?
No, this one says Star Trek Original Mastered is what I'm looking at. Remastered. I'm sorry, remastered. And it looks pretty. I mean, even the blue border. Wasn't the blue border added? Didn't they add that as actually yours? I don't know, dude. They look very similar. It's hard to say.
All right.
Wasn't the screen changed? I mean, yours didn't. They didn't have the blue screen, the blue ridge around the screen on the original, right?
Yes, they did. In the second season, they had a real live rear projection screen. It was brand new and everything. And we have a nice episode to talk about where Chekhov and Kirk are interacting in front of the screen live with the image behind it. And they're showing off the new tech that they have for the second season. This is inserted optically. And I imagine that blue border helps them with ease of alignment, right? Registration on the two objects. But is the blue light that's actually on the set the episode? So we have metric tons for the Fisarius, but the doctor, your weight was up a couple of pounds.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. That I get that.
How about this? Remember when? So this is 9 minutes and 30 seconds into it. They have a meeting and they're talking about and Bailey's in there too. I vote we.
Is that when he jumps the gun when Captain says, "Hey,
did I even ask for an explanation or whatever?" Yeah, right. But in there, Uhura is looking bored. Right? She's like,
really bored. I love that you pointed that out because she looks really bored. That's where I was going to go to the table read, because you said this is the first one they did the table read, and I said that's where I was going to go with Aurora.
Oh, okay. Maybe they were, but she plays it excellently.
She really does.
Look at that shot that I got. She's probably been working with the captain for a while. She knows the routine, and we've got Bailey, who's like the new guy, right?
Yeah.
And Uhura is probably calm under pressure. I mean, she's
listen to this guy. Yeah.
Bored to tears. It's just a great.
Well, you've been in those meetings, right? You've been in those meetings where you pretty much got it under control. You know that you could just move on and get through the meeting, and it takes forever. And you go, why are we going through all this? Yeah, I could see that. Oh, plus they've been there for 18 hours.
Huh? Oh,
they've also been there for 18 hours at this point.
Oh, I wish I'd have written that down. Yeah, right. Is this where they start talking about fly paper? It can be one of two things.
Yeah.
I mean,
it could be one thing, or it could be what else could it be? Spock, fly paper.
Yeah, that wasn't introduced in the script until way late, and the Bailey character way late. This episode also had something like a 6-month gestation period, and the good stuff came in the end that made it what this episode is. Yeah.
So what do you think about McCoy not telling Captain Kirk that there's a situation going on?
If I jumped every time, I'd be talking to myself.
That was a funny line.
It was great. It was great. What do I think about him not? Oh, I think he's totally in his element. It's his thing. He's only got a couple of minutes left, and we're competent. It was a silent red alert. It wasn't like the klaxons were going off. People have it under control. They've alerted everybody, and he'll be done in a second. I don't have a problem with McCoy.
I don't have one either with him, but
yeah,
I think he played the doctor card on that one. Like, by God, I'm going to get this. And I think that's what he says anyway. I'm going to get this done by nook or by crook, but it's going to be done.
Yeah. I mean, when does he actually get the sucker into the office?
Yeah.
When he has arthritis, right? The deadly years.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the only time the doctor, captain isn't going to go in there and admit that he's in any way, shape, or form deficient or subpar.
Is this one where we get a more fuller McCoy? It is, right? Isn't it, kind of?
Oh, yeah. You know, now here's another thing I read. I love this book. Roddenberry goes to the crew, gives them a little pep talk, and when he's done, he goes over to DeForest Kelley and says, no jewelry, lose the jewelry. And DeForest Kelley says, no ring, no DeForest. So you'll notice in some episodes, you'll see him wearing a ring on his pinky finger. DeForest Kelley. It's like I can't remember. It's his grandmother's or his mother's. I don't remember.
Just something, a keepsake, kind of.
Yeah. So I've seen it in a few episodes. Just like we see Doohan's missing finger occasionally. You gotta look close for that.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
What do we got here? Oh, I'm way too far ahead here.
We haven't gotten into the rants that Bailey gets into. I don't know if where are we at on this?
We're at 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Uhura's bored with meeting, and then I made a comment about Sulu. He gets these navigators.
Oh yeah, I love the way you said that. Yeah, he's got to do everything for him, right? He's like, come on.
And remember the other guy that in Mud Swimming, they follow you with their eyes. Snap back to reality, buddy. I mean, what is it? Sulu's training all these guys. He's going through them like crazy until we finally get Chekhov to stay put, right? Very good line from him. But I didn't realize Kirk said it, that McCoy says it. I always thought McCoy said it. So a little suffering is good for the soul, Kirk says. Kirk says that McCoy says it.
That's not when he's eating his fruit, his salad, though, right? Is it?
I think it's before they eat and they're taking the turbo lift down to do the
okay.
Right? They leave the bridge and aren't they talking in there? Yeah, I wish I had that handy. And then what do we got? Something in 12 years. Oh, you seen something in that guy from 12 years ago?
Yeah.
And then we talk about the young. I say right here, I think they should have gotten a younger looking. Sorry.
Yeah. So that means Kirk was around 37 when they shot, or Kirk's character is 37 years old.
That's the problem. But the lore is everywhere you read this is he's the youngest captain in the fleet and he's 34 years old. Okay.
I see.
So what's
So that would have been.
What does that make him? A 12?
Bailey?
No. 34 minus 12.
Right, would be 22, right?
Right. So that's Kirk just starting out on the USS Farragut. And what's that? The Obsession? No, not Obsession. What's the Cloud? Yeah, Obsession.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right.
And he experiences that with the Farragut, and thinks he makes a mistake, and he fired too slow, and now he's got this young guy at 25 sitting there learning.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I never eat until the crew eats. I love it. Happens at 16 minutes and 55 seconds.
So you're saying you always say that, you said?
Yeah, it's one of those lines that I just quote with other buddies when we're talking, and everybody knows what it refers to. I don't know why. Yeah, and in with a couple of my friends, we always quote Star Trek lines, and usually out of context of the situation. Just we quote crap, but we know exactly what we're referring to, and it just makes us happy. We're in our little Star Trek universe.
An inside joke.
Yes. And now we meet the alien. Here we are 18 minutes into the episode, and we finally meet Baylock, the alter ego, with the voice by Ted Cassidy. The story keeps adding stuff. We haven't even got to the point where we need to fight with the little ship and get on the ship and talk to Clint Howard or Baylock, right?
Yeah.
It just seems at this point now we're developing into something else. And of course, you might say, well, that's how these are. They're 4-act shows. Of course, you're building on it, but it just seems like there's a lot. I also find Arena, that episode, to have an incredible amount of story in 50 minutes. I don't know why, but it just seems like, what? There's that too? Every time I watch it, it's like, there's more? Yeah. Sorry if I get all excited about this.
No, it's good. So you're saying that because we haven't met the alien yet,
yeah,
we're still discovering.
There's so much. Yeah. And here we're doing the Baylock alter ego portion. We haven't even a third of the episode, and there's more. It seems exciting to me.
We haven't even gotten to the big, huge orb yet, right? They just see the spinning little cube. We haven't gotten to the big orb.
Well, in 1 minute, 19 minutes and 9 seconds, here we go. It's 1,000 miles in diameter.
Yeah.
Yep. We're that many meters away from Phil's screen. And I'm only kidding about that.
At that point, when they're talking about that stuff, they should have standard units on that. Standard metric units.
Right, I suppose so. But I'm not going to kill them.
Well, because I don't think you would have people talking differently on that.
No,
it wouldn't make sense at that point.
You have your instruments are all calibrated in one kind
Exactly. Yeah.
But this show is merely a historical document. So it's okay that they elaborate, right?
Yeah.
I'm easy
I
going.
wonder why they did that, though. There had to be, there must have been the different writers that were putting their parts into it, because otherwise, if you're talking about something in metric tons, wouldn't you just stay in the metric system?
I think they're doing it for ease for the audience.
Nah, they writers. You had to.
Huh?
Miles across. What you're saying makes perfect sense. I think I keyed into it a couple times, but not as much as you did on this one. But it seems to me like if you're writing, unless you wrote in English and someone goes, no, in the Enterprise it would be metric. I could see that happening, and then them going through and editing and just putting metric stuff in there. Except they missed a couple times when it was in English units.
I think it's. I don't think they're stupid. I think it's on purpose. They would lose part of the audience who just thinks that's foreign gibberish, and they can relate to miles and feet and stuff. And maybe they even thought, oh, well, in colloquial talk in the future, you might have several standards. The ship is in one, and
I don't know. I'm not going to go that far. I did notice when they were saying the size of the thing, but on a lot of the other ones, I didn't notice. But I hope that Spock's not using them interchangeably, because he is a science officer, right? So,
yeah, maybe I should. Well, something I need to pay attention to for the future, right?
Yeah.
Well, 2330. The whole crew. We find out that the whole crew hears Baylock's message about prepare for death, right?
Yeah.
And then Kirk very quickly goes and does an all call and says, hey, everybody. He gives them a pep talk. We're out here. We got lots of different cultures, aliens. And I think that addressing the crew was it was quick, and I think it was appropriate. Yeah. I never thought it was a little, I don't know what the word, not nonsensical. I don't think it was overdone or theatrical or put something in the story. I think that's totally appropriate he just heard that the whole ship heard this thing from the alien. He needs to quickly reinforce with everybody that, hey, it's us fearing the unknown kind of thing. Reminding everybody.
Do you think that was a little bit too harsh from Blaylock?
Oh, harsh from him to say, gonna catch you off in 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Prepare to die?
Don't you think that was like a really harsh kind of, even given what he says at the end of the episode, I thought that's kind of like taking it to the limit on your first punch, right?
Well, he is testing him. Remember, what was the episode where, or was that Legier? Remember an episode where something scanning the Enterprise's banks or was that this episode where the alien couldn't trust that what was in the memory banks was true of the human race in general? So
well, I think they might use that in a couple episodes, but he does say that.
Yeah.
He could trust it or not.
Could have been false information. So
exactly.
He pushed it right to the limit right away. I think
it was just like a full-on punch you in the gut, deep in the gut right away. And I'm like, whoa. I mean, if he's
just because he's more powerful.
Yeah, but I mean, would you do that? I mean, as you're testing someone, I don't know, dude. I think wow,
yeah,
that's a put you on the floor kind of a shot.
Okay, good point.
Which it was, I mean, right? I mean, Captain Kirk kind of nipped it, but and then explained poker to Spock, but
what does he yell at when they're talking and he yells back at him? What is if you want to bluff me, Doctor, or something like
that. Yeah.
That was excellent. Yeah. Okay, what do we got? Crew addresses. He addresses the crew real quick. I think that's great. And then Bailey's tirade. Oh my gosh.
I think you should go through Bailey's tirades, just knocking them out with as much emotion as Bailey had. Just to, this would be awesome.
It's so good. I don't understand this. Spock's wasting time. Everybody else is just sitting around. Somebody's got to do something. What do they want from us. Let's find out what they want us to do. We've only got 8 minutes left. He's doing a countdown. What are you all, out of your minds? End of watch? It's the end of everything. What are you, robots? I love that. Wound up toy soldiers. Don't you know when you're dying? Watch and regulations, orders. What do they all mean? I got, McCoy out of there and stuff. Gosh, so good.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
I don't know. I get the feeling he was your favorite character in this episode.
Yeah, he had a good part. He had totally a good part. Do you see the pictures I posted there in the key light and out of the key light?
For which one? On
Bailey,
him?
The late Bailey behind Spock. So at the beginning of the show, when he comes up and he says 3 days.
Oh, yeah. I see that. Yeah.
He moves over and he's totally in the shadow. And then very quickly, obviously, he figures it out and gets there in the light.
You're off your mark.
No.
I did like Spock's character in here. I like the way he's just like, I don't know. His character kind of went with it in this one.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just like what you were saying about, he'll tell him, Kirk, doesn't that just waste time? Or what did he say again? I forgot how he said it, but it was awesome.
Isn't there a certain inefficiency with you asking me questions you already know the answer to? Something like that.
Yeah. and Kirk just kind of like, but I love it, so it's cool.
Yes, and it does. Nothing seems forced. Okay, and so then after Bailey does this thing, anytime you can bluff me, Doctor. Once again, excellent exchange between McCoy, that whole little thing, pushing him too hard, and then he blurts out that in front of the whole bridge crew. Everybody turns, and looks. Anytime you can bluff me, Doctor. Yeah, that ends on a good note. It's awesome. Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Has never been incorporated. And then right away he says in the next line, Earth vessels had been incorporated. He uses the word incorporated twice very quickly together. And I just don't like that. I don't know. I just think that if I was writing it, that the thesaurus would be open and I would be looking for other ways of phrasing it so that incorporated in one sentence doesn't follow by another incorporated. Or was he winging it? What's it called when they
just pulling it out of his head? Yeah, winging.
Oh, when the actor is ad-libbing, right?
You mean William Shatner ad-libbing?
Right, and he just happened to pull the two word.
Or do you think that he just flubbed his lines? Maybe he flubbed them.
So I wrote down, stop reusing words. So Lurch speaks as the alter ego in the Fesarius, but Bailey later on, not Bailey, Baylock, is played by another guy. I think they said he was, he had a TV show, a kid's TV show or something like that.
I read that too. Yeah.
Like a voiceover guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Intermix, 7,400 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, it's rising, and he is pushing the limit, and you can hear the beep, 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 which she'll blow soon.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're going to blow up your shit out in the middle of nowhere, and you don't know how powerful this little thing is.
Yeah.
And then at 4105, shear away, Mr. Bailey. What were we doing all along up to that point when we were blowing up the intermix temperature to 7,400 degrees? Yeah. Were we just trying to slow down? Were we not trying to shear away? Now all of a sudden he says, shear away, Mr. Bailey. And wasn't there no more power to do that? I mean, you're going to say, well, he said impulse engines too. Yeah, but shear away. I'm thinking, weren't we trying to shear away all this time?
I thought he was too. He's trying to shear away, and then I think the way I took it was make it more severe, right? You're trying to pull away. He was kind of pushing the limit, and then he's like, just hit it now.
Go. Okay.
So he was trying to shear away the whole time. But at that moment, he's going, look, okay, we're out of time now. Let's just hit it and see if we can get away from this thing.
oh, like shearing away at 20 degrees and now go try to shear 90 degrees.
Yeah, just hit it. Yeah.
Okay, I've always had a little problem with the shear away, Mr. Bill. I'm already doing that.
I'm doing it, yeah.
Also, they shear away apparently to port, but the way in my mind I visualize while I'm watching the episode and I'm not paying attention too much, I'm always visualizing that they're going to starboard. I'm always thinking they're going to the right. But apparently, must be because of the stars, I wrote this comment, was I always managed to go smart, but they were actually going to port.
Right.
Weird. Weird how you imagine things, like how words are pronounced, but you never pronounce them in real life, or you read the story and you never really notice how it really is. All right, and then I think, what's the deal here at 45:38? This shot is on the back of my Making of Star Trek book. Yeah, let's see, is that, the Baylock one? Yeah, I think it is. The alter ego?
The alter ego? Yeah, it's in a lot of stuff, man. That's a famous...
There's definitely a lot of promotional pictures that you always see that they allow to be out. And so when I'm taking these screen caps, I'm trying to grab some that just aren't the typical.
Yeah. I see you have the Tranya. Oh, by the way, just real quickly, the two Blaylocks are provided by Ted Cassidy.
No.
Big Blaylock, and Walter Anderson as Little Blaylock.
Not Blaylock, because Blaylock is the actress's name from what? Voyager or
the voices are sometimes incorrectly attributed to Vic Perrin.
Yeah, the Outer Limits guy, right?
But it wasn't him. It's
not him, and I read that all the time. And so I was surprised to learn that. Where did you find this info? What do you
it's just some trivia I'm looking at right now. It's like Amazon trivia on the thing itself.
Oh yeah, that's excellent.
Trivia that's coming with the episode.
What's the guy's last name that did the Baylock voice? The guy I don't know.
Ted Cassidy?
No.
He did the Edmiston. Walker. Walker. Walker.
Okay, well, he could be famous too, not just Vic Perrin and Ted Cassidy. One of our ships.
So what do you think of little Opie?
He worked with his older brother Ron on that show, on whatever the Ron Howard show was.
Oh yeah, Mayberry RFD, right?
Yeah, he played a little friend kid or
Andy
something.
Griffith's show. Sorry, Andy Griffith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
His father. You heard about the Tranya, right?
Yes, and they say grapefruit juice, right?
Yeah.
I always looked at it on the screen as if it was some sort of mango juice, peach kind of a thing for the longest time because of, I don't know, the color or just my experience. Yeah. Although I used to drink grapefruit juice all the time. So now that when I found out it was grapefruit juice, I go, oh my God, Greyhound, it's just throw some vodka in there and this is great. So I think we should all have some Tranya every once in a while and celebrate this episode.
We should.
Poor, what's his name? Clint Howard did not. He just gagged on the stuff. He didn't. And his father
his father said, yeah, you're an actor.
Do it. What about the incompatible with human physiology? Oh, yeah. He motions to them. They're hesitant to drink it, and they should be. McCoy hasn't analyzed it yet. We don't know what the heck it is. And then he motions and says, oh, it's okay. Watch me. I'll drink it. It's not poisoned.
Yeah.
Glug. Yes, but it could be acidic and, causes us.
I mean, look at you. Your growth is obviously stunted. I mean.
Much of the damn alcohol. But I don't like that. I don't like man trap when what's so strange about that? We started with 25 pounds and now we only have this much salt left. And McCoy takes the bottle and puts his finger in there. Yeah, salt. Yeah. What?
Dude, they do it all the time. That was my biggest gripe about the last episode. I'm telling you, he puts his head under this rotating thing that completely evacuates a brain
Oh,
And they just don't have any concept of what's dangerous and what's not. They just don't.
yeah, you're right. You're right. You said that, and I've never looked at that episode that way, where Kirk is kind of really gone.
He just kind of went over the deep end on that one, and they just don't. But you're right. Yeah, it could be massively poisonous to them. You know, I mean, he could have built up tolerance over the years, even if he does have like a human anatomy, and still, when you take it, you could be completely.
Right. I hope you know, I'm a Trekkie, and I don't. And Galaxy Quest did the ultimate, right? Yeah. I mean, they're making fun, and it's just so enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It's hilarious, and I'm one. Not only am I, a Trek geek, I don't mind it, and they're making fun, and all of those guys who made that movie are fans, right? I mean, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
Galaxy Quest. We should go watch that someday.
We should cover that. That's really good.
Okay, and then at the end of this episode, so this is episode 3, but its air by air order is 10th. And so at the end of the Laserdisc, the next voyage, the upcoming show, is for Mudd's Women. And if I look at my notes right up here, let's see, Mudd's Women is the 4th episode. That's interesting. So on the end of the Laserdisc was the preview to the next production numbered episode. It's not the actual one that was aired, though. I mean, after the 10th episode was obviously the 11th, something else.
So, what did you think? What's your rating on this one?
Oh, right. So we haven't rated it. We're going to rate this thing. And Bruce has a ton of stuff, as we talked about.
I just really want to say, I just think that, I honestly think he goes back and punches Kirk in the face, because I think he's going to have an incredible headache unless he just stoops over all the time.
What? Oh, you and your... Remember all those...
How long do you think they let him float around as partners out there?
A year.
A year? That's about right, yeah. Checking out the galaxy for a year. Well, there you go.
Totally. I mean,
I bet Bailey was ready to get back on the Enterprise for sure, though. He's at that time, he's like, I got to get back, man.
Oh yeah, probably a lot quicker than that. I doubt that the aliens have time to babysit one of our guys. And after a few months of talking about stuff, they probably learned about each other, and it's probably over with. But I could see where that space is so vast, so huge that they would go, okay, in a year our paths will cross. We'll make an effort to cross paths again, so we can get that guy back over here, so I can get my money's worth on the guy that we invested so much in, who was a terrible navigator.
Yeah. I just had to say, because that always just cracks me up that he's left on that ship, and it's so tiny, and I'm sure he had a massive headache. I mean, I would.
They're going back to the Fesarius. They're just...
Didn't he say that was a ship, though?
Yeah, but the big ship is his, too. This is just a little shuttle, isn't it?
Well, he said he was proud of his ship, remember? I'm as proud of my ship as you are yours, Captain.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm thinking...
Because he's showing him around the little ship.
Yeah, I think this is like a dock. This docks in with the Fesarius, and it still is command module in there, but once he's docked and he opens up the airlock, he's in the bigger ship, and it's...
Thank God. See, now you give me some hope. It's just that he didn't have to go like this all the time.
You sent me so many messages about your head's hurting and you feel like Bailey, and for the last 2 weeks, you've been harping about that low. It's kind of low over there. You better squat down,
Better squat.
Or whatever.
Anyway, so your rating then? What's your rating?
Oh, this is I had too much fun with this. It should get a 80, but it's gonna get an 85.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, so what does Kevin...
But that's good. I don't see anything wrong with that.
What's Kevin say for a...
I'll give you 85. I mean, not 85, 80.
Yeah.
What did I do with the last one? I need to look at my last rating.
No,
that was a 0. So yeah, this is completely right in line. Yeah. So okay. Cool. So how do you want to do the next ones? Because this is a 2-parter. Do you want to do it as a 2-parter, or you want to do them as a 1-parter?
Oh, I love your question. That's interesting. And you know what? I wasn't expecting that when you said 2. I mean, I knew immediately which episode it was, but before this, I didn't think that. I was going, oh, I wonder what the next episode is going to be. Wow. Do it as a 2-parter? No, we got to do them separately.
To do them separately?
Yeah, because I think there's going to be a lot of veering off to talk about the cage versus the menagerie, and they're 50 minutes. I think there's stuff to say.
Okay.
Yeah. I say
so, Gene Roddenberry only wrote this because he did write The Cage, right? So that's why he's the writer on this one.
Interesting. Oh, no. I don't know if they're referring to the rapper. He wrote the rapper. Right? He wrote the rapper probably with Commodore Mendez and the
right.
And Starbase 11 or 10 or whatever, that nonsense that goes on, and Spock, the trial, all that stuff is probably Roddenberry. Was the original The Cage? Oh, don't we have that at the top? Let me take a look here. I don't know. No, I cut that. So go to the episodes list notebook. I'm going there now. Yep. Where No Man Has Gone Here, The Cage. Also written by Gene Roddenberry. Okay, he must have done both.
Okay, so he did the whole deal.
Yep. Robert Butler directed The Cage. And then what do we got for who's doing the...
I didn't know that they had 2 different directors on this thing. Huh?
Well, you mean for first episode, second episode?
Yeah. Mark Daniels and Robert Butler.
Well, no. Robert Butler's getting credit because he did The Cage.
Okay.
I don't know that Robert Butler came back, let's say, 6 years, 64 to 66, 2 years later to go say, oh, let me go do the rapper filming. I bet Mark Daniels did the rapper and Robert Butler did the Cage, and they just entered it this way to give both people credit.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. All right, so we're going to have the next 2 episodes that we do is going to be the Menagerie Part 1 is going to be next episode, and the episode following that is the Menagerie Part 2.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
So we'll have poor little Spock getting himself into trouble.
And doesn't he represent himself?
Yes.
So he's going to get himself out of trouble, maybe? No, I don't know. Or get him.
No, he does. He definitely does. Yeah. Well, you know this episode. You've watched these episodes. Spock's a smart fella. He's a smart fella.
Well, this was really good. Thanks for playing along.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for bearing with me on my little COVID sickness, and
I
appreciate that. So I'm sure I'll be even a little more witty and better next time. No, but you had some great stuff to say about the Corbomite Maneuver.
Yeah, I got a little excited because it's good show, good stuff in there. And I had 2 weeks to think about it, right?
You did good. You did. I mean, I liked it. You're getting more details and stuff like that. Honestly, I do appreciate that. I think it's fantastic that you do that.
All right.
And I like your little train picture with the Tranya. It's wonderful. That's got to go in our edited version of this.
Yeah, that's the picture there I chose was when it was the furthest out, the largest representation of those glasses when it slides out towards you. I do it, I select by down to the frame, right? And so this, when does it start going over? And you can see his arm there, and it's right before his arm starts moving over to pick up a glass.
Pick it up. Oh.
Right. So none of these shots are just random. They are down to the frame on what I feel is the right one to grab. Definitely some choice, some thought. No, Bruce thought, not deep thought.
Awesome. Well, very good. So next week?
Yeah, you up for next week? Wednesday?
Next Wednesday, yeah. I think, I'm doing so much better now, and I feel like next week I'll just be 100%. I'm already be pretty okay, so yeah.
Yeah, but let's find out what happens tomorrow. If tomorrow you go, I overextended myself because I thought I was better, then maybe...
I thought I was so much better. But then you got to yell at me when we get on. Kevin, you're better than this.
I know. Oh,
you could do this. All right. Well, another good episode. Thank you, Bruce.
Yeah, that was fun talking to you again. You're hilarious. You're awesome.
Thanks. You too.
Take care.
You too.
Okay.
Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I'm going to go ahead and end our session.
All right. Good night.
Thank you.
And I'm, come on, standardize your units. What? It's miles across, but we're this many meters away. Come on.
Yeah. I don't want to get rid of my grappling tool.
Kind of a bitchy thing to do to our.
It was kind of a bitchy thing to do because the director's doing this.
Yeah. Walter, you're awesome. Ha 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 ha. The guy, right? He said, "Don't open that." When they got the space shuttle and they land on the planet to get the beryllium sphere, it's an alien planet. Is there air? You don't know. And the engineer
watch the episodes.
The engineer is awesome. He says, "Seems okay."
Yeah.
Right.